Hello and welcome. This is a character profile video for the class Reaper. And what you're going to see in this video is all of her skills, all of her enhancements, her top PvP, the top 8 PvP and PvE skills I recommend, her player card, and a gameplay video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started and show you Reaper. Here we go. Okay, if this is the first time that you're seeing this video or this slide, allow me to introduce the interface. On the very left is all the skills. On the very right are the specials that go with each skill. Then the column next to the skills is charges. That's how many times you can use it, the skill. MP is the magic points or mana points. I'm not real clear on that. At the very bottom, so it refills, so it just costs 25 or 20 to use. The next column over is hits, and that's how many times it hits a creature or opponent. The next column over is damage PVE, so that's the damage percentage when attacking a enemy or a creature. Yeah, that's where that is. The last one, damage PvP, is when you're actually fighting another player. This is the damage percentage of what these skills will do. So fighting another player versus fighting a creature in the world, very different. That's why we have these two columns. So since we're here, I do want to point out a few other things. On the PvP slide I'm going to show you, the super armor in red is highlighted. I'll explain what that means. I'll explain what the colors on the skill section mean for Nightmare, Soul Reaver, Soul Spike, and Harvest. And of course, what's new versus a lot of other characters is she has a passive ability, which is creating the shards of darkness. So that's why that says passive down there. So without further ado, let's go ahead and move on to the top 8 PvE skills that I recommend, and I'll see you there. Here we go. Okay, so here we go. We are on the PvE skills slide, and what I did on this slide is I took all of the skills and I organized it according to damage PVE. So what this is telling you, and what's also highlighted in green, is the 8 skills that you can bring into that you can choose when you're fighting creatures or opponents out there in the field. And you can only bring 8, but there's 3 different tabs for you to change that up. So it looks like Soul Spike is your heavy hitting skill, which damages at 2202.2%. So that one is really good. And then going all the way down, I do want to note that don't count out Death Circus, which is at was that 200 I think it's 225%. It's a little small, I can't read it very clearly, but you will be able to see it clearly. But it hits 20 times. So I'm pretty sure that one is a contender as well if you're wanting to do quick massive damage. So take a moment to look at the top 8 PvE skills I recommend, and we'll move on to PvP. I'll see you there. Here we go. So as promised, we're now on the PvP skill slide, and again, what's highlighted in green is the top 8 PvP skills that are organized from highest damage going down. So Soul Spike and Soul Reaver and Cartian's Wrath are really good heavy hitters for you. But as promised, I'm going to explain. The legend at the bottom where it says not applied in arena, this means that the super armor you get from Soul Reaver, the second skill from the top, doesn't work when you're fighting someone in the arena. So that's why I highlighted these in red, so you can visually see, okay, alright. So no worries, all this means is Soul Spike does have super armor and it does work. So if you open with that and then do Soul Reaver and then come back to Soul Spike or even something else, that has super armor, like say Harvest, which is second from the bottom and highlighted in green, then you can keep your super armor going and prevent your opponent from getting the drop on you. Now, I also wanted to explain, why did you color the left side Nightmare red and those 3 other skills purple? And that is, if you look at Nightmare, I wanted to bring it to your attention. What makes her special is, sure, when you're using it, you are hiding. It allows you to hide from your opponent, but they're calling out that super armor doesn't work while hiding. I mean, okay, that's fine, right? But this character is very deadly and very special. Not only can she hide from your opponent, losing the target track that somebody will put on you, but she can teleport to the target when you're using Soul Reaver, Harvest, and Soul Spike. Now, I didn't have time to check this out exactly how it worked, but I want to bring it to your attention. So if you choose her, play around with this, get the hang of how that works using Nightmare. And that's why I highlighted those other ones in purple, to bring them out to say, okay, if I'm doing PvP, I want to really understand how Nightmare works, and then incorporate those 3 skills into it, get the hang of how that is, and then I'll have a good idea on what my rotation should be that works best against other players. So, telling you, she's got a bag of tricks, and she is deadly. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at her enhancements, and then we'll see the player card and on to the gameplay. So here we go. Alright, if you are new to the enhancement slide, I will briefly explain it. On the far left are the skills, skill names. On the far right is the branch damage that is connected to those skills. And in the center you have 4 columns. The first, second, and fourth are enhancements that do something for you. The third column is the one that affects the person you're fighting against. So I try to keep it that way. I'm sorry I didn't make it the 4th column, but it's just the way it turned out, and I'm sticking with it so people get the hang of it when they come and see this. But I want to point out that I highlighted the letters SOD, which means Shards of Darkness, in purple, so that you can easily spot it and not wonder what is SOD. Looking at her enhancements, just overall, they've given her a lot of extra damage on top of her regular skills. They've given her bleed effects, and they have reduced the cooldown for her skills, making them faster. I mean, look at Soul Spike and Harvest. Actually, it's Guardian's Wrath and Soul Spike, but geez, Soul Spike, it's, from 10 seconds to 8, they're speeding you up and adding more attack damage on top of all that. Putting the time in to unlock all these enhancements is what I'm getting at. Take a look at what she has here and know that it's just more awesome stuff on top of what she can already do. So with that, let's go ahead and show you the player card, and I will see you there. Here we go. Alright, if this is the first time you're seeing the player card, this is the summation of all the slides that you've seen before. If you're familiar with my character profile videos, you can easily go to the player card and say, hey, new character came out, looks like he's got a video for it, let me go check out that player card and see what he or she has. So what you're looking at here is the top 8 PVE and PVP skills I recommended at the top next to her portrait, and to the right of that is something new. It's called immobilization. So any skill that knocks you down, knocks you up, stun, freeze, anything like that, I consider you're immobilized because your character needs to spend animation to get up and be ready to move or get out of the way. I will never consider knockback an immobilization because you're knocked back and you can move. It's less animation frames that it takes to get in some more hits. If you're knocked down, you can bet that your opponent's probably going to get 2, maybe 3 more hits in on you, and that really can decide the battle right there. So aside from all that, it looks like more than 50% of her skills have one immobilization to it. So this is good news. I mean, it's just more great things on top of a very powerful character. So be aware of that. And below that are all the skills that she has. And again, below all that is the enhancements and the legends, what SOD means, shards of darkness, and so on and so forth. And if you weren't really sure what forward guard or super armor means, according to the internet, I gave you a definition. So I'm going to read that for you real quick. Forward guard, this means that incoming damage will either be 0 or heavily reduced. Very important. If you're facing your opponent and you use your forward guard, yeah, they're not going to harm you very much at all. Super armor. This is a common thing that PvPers use all the time, and this means incoming damage will be reduced, and the effects that immobilize you, stun, knockdown, freeze, etc., will not happen for a duration of time. This is why everyone rotates something with super armor, something that doesn't, if it comes to that. Otherwise, a super armor skill, then another super armor skill, then another super armor skill, and that's all they have is nothing but super armor skills rotated. So you're not gonna freeze them or stun them because they're making sure that they have a super armor on all the time. So be aware of that. And like I said, this is like a baseball card. It's supposed to show you everything, and get right to whether you like this character or not. So what we're going to do now, the music is going to change. We're going to show you a gameplay video of her using all these skills. Not all of them, but a heck of a lot of them, like 8 of them or so. And so you can see if this is going to clinch it for you, like, oh, I really like this character. I like the way she fights. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to it, and I'll see you there. Here we go. Okay, welcome to the gameplay video, but before we get started, let's show you where we're at. We're over here in Balanos, and here we're at Kron Castle entrance, and we're here because their CP is 2519 and our CP is 2896. I know she can still kick butt, and we favor this place, so we're going to use an auto path, have her fight for about 3 to 4 minutes to show you her skills. So I'm gonna hush up here, and at the end of that, go to town, do my outro, and say thank you very much. So without further ado, here is Reaper. Okay, time is just about up here, and we're gonna head over to town now. I'm sure you've seen that she's a very capable character. So while this is loading up, we're just gonna find a nice spot to showcase her, and I'll go ahead and start my outro and say thank you. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like my videos, please subscribe, like, share, let people know about them. I'm always making new videos, and the goal is to be the place that you can come to if you ever wanted to know anything about this game. So without further ado, I'm just going to say once again, thanks a lot, and you all have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.